A huge warm welcome to you for joining our quick webinar showing you different ways of options for you to think about what you could do if you're going to change your career from teaching. During the next few minutes or so, maybe half an hour, we'll be sharing the stories of 4 amazing ex-teachers. We'll discuss why they decided to leave teaching, what they were looking for, what options did they look at, what hurdles did they face as they changed their career, and how they felt about making the change, and also how they feel about what they're going to be doing now. So I'm Sarah Cressel. I'm founder of the Creation Station, where we inspire imagination and nurture potential and creativity through art and craft classes, parties, and events. I'm here with some amazing people, and I'd just like to introduce you to Esther, Holly, Amanda, and Michelle, who are all now ex-teachers. I'm also here with Fran, who is our support manager at Creation Station, and with Kirsty, who left teaching 9 years ago, so she'll share her story of what it's been like. And I'd like to introduce you to Ruth Morris, who is our operations manager.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for the opportunity to introduce these amazing ladies. Ladies, what I'd like to do and invite you each to just introduce yourself and just what your background is. What did you do in teaching? So I'm going to head off with Esther. So over to you.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Esther. I've been teaching since 1999, so over 20 years. I initially started in secondary education, thinking of middle schools, but that was the year they closed middle school, so I went straight into secondary, teaching across all age groups up to sixth form. I eventually became a leading teacher and line managed 15 people, technicians, and then another site, a different school, so I doubled my staff. For me, it was extremely rewarding, introducing teachers into how to teach creative subjects, and I found that part of it rewarding over the years as well. It got to 2.5 years ago, loving where I was, loved the school, very valued. I decided I wanted to change, so I decided to stop teaching and became a high-level teaching assistant in a primary school. I was employed to do all the PPA and teaching younger children up. I didn't want the extra marking, the extra stress of lots of meetings every night. It's not 9 till 3, it was 9 till 7 most nights, then marking. So and spend more time with my children. Absolutely loved working with younger children, particularly early years, the 4-year-olds. Absolutely loved it. And it made me really think about where I'd go next. There was a bit of a buzz about what I was doing in the school. A few other schools approached me and said, can you do after school clubs? But at that point, I couldn't get to them from finishing my school, couldn't commit to that. And I thought, oh, this is something I'm interested in. So I looked into it a bit and decided maybe that's the way I wanted to go. And that led me on to Creation Station. So that was my start of my journey there.
And we are so happy that you found us. When you started looking around, we're like, yay, Esther found Creation Station. So that's a phenomenal introduction. I'm going to bounce over to Amanda. And Amanda, I'd love to know your background and how come we've got the joy of having you on our call today.
Thank you. My name's Amanda. I've had over 30 years working with children in the education sector. Started off as a nursery nurse, working in a nursery, in a school. Absolutely loved it, but I wanted more. So then I went to complete my teaching degree. And for the last 10 years, I've been an early years teacher and primary, mainly year 1 and the early years. I love working with children. I love the enthusiasm they have, the willing to learn, the eagerness, their imagination and their energy. So that made every day special. So I really love the teaching side of it. However, that's not just teaching. changes have happened within the teaching sector, unrealistic expectations, the data, the long hours, and it started to affect my work-life balance. It became work balance, so there was no life. So I wanted to make more time with the family. After Christmas, we got a little puppy, and I was getting home after a very long day, setting off at 7 o'clock in the morning for work, coming home, loving taking the dog for a walk, but then basically not enough hours in the day. So that did affect me personally, and I just thought I need a change. So I started to look at other things that I could do, including childminding, because I still wanted to be with the children, even dog walking and things like that. And then I started to Google some ideas, and franchise in general came up. So I thought, oh, this sounds interesting. Can still work with children, maybe go down the family route, because I've done that as well in my career. I've worked with families and I really enjoyed that side of it. So when I started to Google, Creation Station just popped up, and I loved the branding. And I started to look at that, and I just made me make my mind up, and I thought, yeah, it's something I can do. It's going to be a big risk. It's going to be a big change to me and my family. But I knew going down this journey, it will make my life better, but also my family's life better, because there will be that life balance again. So I'm really excited of this part of the journey. And I thank you for everybody as well for helping me along the way.
Amanda, you are just such a star, and how I love the fact it was a puppy. The final straw was the puppy, because it doesn't matter. So many things that come on top of us, and it needs the final thing to just tip you over and just go, right, now's the time. So I hope we get lots more puppy stories in the future, and time with family. It's precious. But the last couple of years have proven that over and over again, that we need to spend time at home. So over to Michelle. I can't wait to find out more about you.
Hello, yeah, my name's Michelle, and I've been a teacher for nearly 19 years until very recently. And I taught predominantly in the EYFS, but across Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 as well. My real love was the EYFS and the younger children, because I love working with children who you can see their ideas and their creativity. You can see their enjoyment of learning something new. So I've always loved teaching, but because, as I think Amanda said, that it's become so much more target driven, and there's always the fear of Ofsted in every school, that it really started to get me down. And coupled with the amount of work, the extra workload that year on year grows, no matter what we do, it gets worse every year. I really needed to start looking around for something that would still hit all those creative goals I had, because I love being creative myself. I can't help, but I'm constantly painting or sewing or making peg dolls or whatever it is. So I love doing that, and I wanted to do something that I could couple my teaching experience with my love of creativity. So I looked around, I looked at a couple of different franchise options. I looked at what there was available already in my area. And as soon as I saw the Creation Station, in fact, I'd already looked once before many years ago. It wasn't right, the time wasn't quite right then, but now it was. I decided this is what I need to do, not what I want to do, but what I need to do. And so as soon as I'd realised that, it was a no-brainer after that, really. It was the way forward. And so far, it's been fantastic. There's been so much support already, and we've only just started.
Oh, wow. Michelle, thank you for trusting us and considering meshing those parts of your life that are so important. And we're just glad that you found your home with Creation Station, and let's see what amazing steps you take with us. And we are here to support. That's the joy of franchises. You are not doing this alone, and we're here to help, and can't wait to see what happens next in Michelle's story. And last but not least, we've got Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I've been was teaching for 11 years, 5 of those years working abroad, mostly secondary schools, lead in psychology, when I left, and I was actually being pushed down a route at the time to take over a head of department for social sciences, with new courses coming in. And the more that progressed, the more I felt like that's not what I wanted for myself or my family. I wanted more time with my children, not less. And quite honestly, I'd had enough of the clinging 3-year-old at my leg crying because mummy can't take him to nursery that day. And they knew that it would be pick up, home time, dinner, bath, bed, no quality time. So that's what I really was craving. And so I started to look at my options. Initially, the things that come up didn't interest me in the slightest, becoming a librarian or working at a local museum. I don't know if anybody else has done those searches, but these are apparently what teachers go on to do. Or they just become cover supervisors. Again, not something that interested me in the slightest. So then I started looking at various franchises, and I booked myself in mid having COVID to have a discovery event with Ruth and Emma. And the second that you guys started talking, I could see the passion and the joy that you get from your jobs. And I thought, I want that. So that's what drew me to the Creation Station, is seeing how enthusiastic everybody else has been.
Oh, well, yes, joining us mid-COVID is a challenge, and you did awesome. And it's a comment we get a lot when people join our discovery events, is the vibe, and that is important because we want to find people who get our values and get as excited about what we do, so that you can then take that forward yourselves. So I love that. Is that what worked for you? So thank you so much. What fantastic introductions from our 4 new franchisees. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lovely to hear how you use the skills you had in teaching to get you to the next place, because life's a journey, isn't it? And when you've got an idea of when you want to change something, you have to make the effort to explore and see what's out there. And the great thing about obviously Google now is you can look at all these different sorts of options as well. I know Kirsty joined us. What year would have that been?
2013. 13, Ruth said.
13. Yeah.
Yes.
Quite a long
Maths
time
is
ago.
not my strong point, even as an ex-teacher.
So I don't know if you can remember that far back, Kirsty.
I can. It's
tell us.
Absolutely. It's a day I will never ever forget, because I can only echo what these ladies have said. I'd spent 12 years in teaching, and I'd gone back after maternity leave to a new boss, who I didn't like, and I don't think he liked me very much. And we didn't get on. It made everybody's life a bit miserable. And I just thought, I can't do this anymore, because like these ladies were saying, it wasn't about the children so much anymore. I was spending more and more time sat at a computer inputting data and scores. And that's not what I went into teaching for. I went into teaching because I love working with children. I love children. I don't want to sit and work at a computer all day. So I came back home and reevaluated where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, and had a long conversation with my husband about it. And we did the same, Googled a few things, and then it was actually a friend who I'd been talking about this to, who had found Creation Station and sent it to me and said, you need to look at this. This is so you. And like that, I looked straight at it and I was like, yes, you are right. This is everything that I want to do. It encapsulates my love of creativity and crafting and doing all those things, but I can still carry on working with children, and I've got, that box I can tick too. And it also ticked the box that I thought was a pipe dream, that I could run my own business, because that was something I'd always wanted to do, but never had the guts to do. So buying into a franchise was the perfect option, because the sports there, you're never alone in anything. And I've never, ever felt alone in this. I remember my discovery morning, which was a physical discovery morning back then, travelling across the country in the snow. And I think I talked all the way back going home, across the country again in the snow, whilst my husband was trying to drive. about how this is, I need this, we must have this, and it's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to do this. And so it was just a no-brainer from day one. And I've never looked back. It's part of my life now. And I can't imagine Creation Station not being part of that. So yeah, very excited for all of these ladies, and yeah, it's great what you can achieve if you put your mind to it.
Kirsty, thanks. We can't imagine Creation without you in it. You're definitely part of the team. We have over 70 amazing franchise partners who have changed career to do something impactful. And Kirsty, you're definitely an amazing asset to your little community.
Definitely the best decision I ever made. Yeah, without a shadow of doubt.
We are going to wrap up the webinar because I appreciate anyone who's watching. You're going to be busy. Life is busy, and I'm grateful that you've looked at choices on how to change your career from teaching. A number of our franchise partners are teachers, quite a few of them. Often in their knowledge, like Kirsty just said, there's sometimes a gap in knowledge about how to run a business, how to do sort of sales and marketing and all of those things that we do as a business all of the time. So we can plug those gaps of knowledge that people don't have. So you don't have to be creative. You don't have to be a teacher, but we find teachers do really well in the business. I don't know if anybody else has got anything else that they heard from each other, or you'd like to add in to perhaps somebody who was watching who currently teaching and not sure the way forward. I don't know if anybody has anything they'd like to share.
I'd just say, don't be scared to do it. Put yourself out there, take a chance, because it was scary. I'm not going to lie, because making a change always is, but it's a very, very positive change. And I'm so glad that I've gone for it. And I'm so proud of myself for coming this far. So just go for it.
Anyone else got hurdles potentially that they face that they've overcome to achieve this? I mean, one thing is investing. How do you find the money to invest in the franchise? Obviously, some people take out bank loans, family, sometimes it's a confidence thing. That is your hurdle. Everyone's kind of got hurdles of some description. If anyone else has got any thoughts on that.
Well, Sarah, as you know, where I actually trained with Kirsty, and I'm not a teacher, but I was in the education department in the local authority. So I understand and share your pain of being in a constant revision process when you work in a local authority setting. It's not very supportive. When I came to Creation Station looking for an opportunity, first of all, franchising scared me. I didn't understand what it was. And I also didn't have the funding. I did have to go and apply for a bank loan to take on my franchise because my family just didn't have that capital sitting. The great thing was all the things that I needed, Creation Station had. So I did need the business plan and all the things, and that was provided, and I was able to use that. So that's how I started my journey. Is I actually needed a little help just to get my foot in the door. But from the minute that I launched, everything worked really, really well. So I don't know if that's something that's been shared by anybody else, but I know that Holly was just about to say something awesome. So I'm gonna hand over. Was Holly gonna jump in and explain? No, she's going, no. That's fine. I don't want to put anyone on the spot. But has anyone else had something that was, or something that maybe somebody said to you? I had a lot of people being really supportive, but sometimes people might not have been very supportive. Did anyone have that experience looking at changing career?
I did.
Scott, go on, Holly.
Sorry, I'm jumping in now. I did. I had various family members say something like that will never make you money, something like that. You know, you're not going to end up being successful, that this is a market that is already saturated with clubs and so on. And actually, it's not the case in the slightest. I did my market research as per all the forms that were sent through by the Creation Station, and this is a gap. This is a gap in my local community. There's nothing particularly for those toddlers to do. So I am able to provide that for my local community. And despite what they have said, I've taken that jump. And actually, one of them has turned around and said to me, all due respect to you, you know, and they've booked in for classes already. So
I find usually that when people speak like that, it's because they're nervous and they're frightened and they just don't have the courage. But they, when they see you go for it, they are going to be your biggest supporters. So yeah, just show them what you can do. And Amanda, what were you going to add in, darling?
Yeah, when I was exploring whether to, you know, take this massive leap away from regular pay and things like that and go into a business, I spoke to an extended family member who is a very successful businessman, and he was trying to put me off the actual franchise side of it. And he said, "Oh no, go alone, you can do it, it's something you've done before, blah de blah de blah." So I had a good half-an-hour conversation with him, and I came away from that conversation actually kind of anxious. And I was like, I can't do it. But the very next day, I'd already planned to see Alexis and in a creation, I think it was the Little Explorer group. So I spent the whole morning with her, and I came away from that very enthusiastic, very excited. She answered all my questions truthfully. So I'd say anybody out there, if you're still not sure, go to a group. You know, I'm sure all four of us would be willing, whichever area you're in, you know, come along, speak to us directly, because she did put my mind at ease. So I came away the day before thinking, no, I'm going to stick to teaching, I'm going to stick with it, I can't do it. Even though I said to this person, this businessman, the reason I'm coming away from it, because I don't want all the extra workload. I don't want to make my own plans. So Creation Station does everything. And then another nervous thing was the actual business side of it. But this last week, level 1 training as well has put my mind at ease, because you're very thorough. We know you've got ongoing support. We've got the support of each other, because we've got a little link going, so we'll keep in touch as well. And it's been a fantastic journey, as I said earlier. But yeah, get out there, speak to Ruth, speak to any of the team, and they'll put your mind at ease as well.
I've got nothing to add to that, Sarah. That's amazing. Thank you. That was perfect. I mean, I love all your advice and tips. Sarah, what would you like to say to the ladies?
I'd just like to say thank you for sharing your journey. I've certainly been inspired by your journey. The thing that I love most about Creation Station, in fact, if you look at our logo, it's a big hand and a little hand. It's the connections that we make. Now, we started in 2002. We're the most recommended arts and crafts activity company in the UK. And that is because we have fantastic people running amazing experiences for the local community. And the local community, our customers, your customers, give us those 5-star reviews. So if anybody wants to know, what does Creation actually do, what do our customers think, 8,500 5-star reviews have been given, because our franchise partners are delivering fantastic experiences out there. We're making a difference through creativity, and I'm really grateful to all the teachers who have joined our network, our family, and to all 4 of you for finding that you wanted to change something and having the courage to do something about it, because it's a decision to stay doing what you do. That's a decision, and it takes a bit of courage and a bit of bravery to say, I'm not going to stick with the status quo anymore. I need to make that change. And I applaud you for being brave enough to start that journey and explore it. And I'm so excited that we found you and you found us, and we've made that connection together, because we're so excited about the differences you're going to make in your local community. And although we've just completed training, it's an ongoing support team that is a connection, not just with customers, but with our franchise partners too. We're here to support you to achieve your own individual goals, because we all kind of run our businesses slightly different. Some people are rocking it. Esther, you already had, what did you have before? What do you already organise? You've got a whole business about to launch any moment.
I've already got my schools already, before and after school clubs. So 3 so far.
And some people will start their business a bit slower because smaller children or different commitments, maybe looking after parents. So it's about how we support you to tailor your business to suit your goals and your needs. And that will change over the years. And certainly in the last 5 years, I know Kirsty's business has changed. as your boys are now taller than you, no doubt. You're mute, Kirsty.
Oh yes, they are. Yes, much taller now. They were only little toddlers, some of them, when they started, and they're 17 and 12 now. So yes, much bigger boys that don't come to the sessions anymore with me, but they used to, which was the other part of what was lovely, is that you fit it in around your families, and you get that family life balance back again, which is what has been absolutely beautiful about it.
Thank you. And I know Ruth, it might be a bit confusing because Ruth had a franchise for 5 years, sold it, emigrated, and now supports us at head office because she lives not in the UK. And you'll have to get in touch with Ruth to find out where she now lives. Little teaser at the end. So I just wanted to thanks everyone for listening. If we can help with changing your career, if you've got any questions, just get in touch. You can email, go to the website, go to franchise, email inquiries, email ruth@thecreationstation.co.uk, message us on social media, and all those other ways of getting in touch with the Creation Station. But here's to achieving what you want in life and celebrating all the positive things that life gives us. Big thanks to Michelle, Esther, Amanda, Holly, Kirsty, Fran, and the amazing Ruth as well for your time on this chat today. Really, really appreciate it. Keep safe, look after yourselves.